Today we're starting with fall veggies. This is very exciting.
We actually went to Jean Market, so if you're in the area, please check it out because look at all the beautiful things you could get.
Yep, they're still in season. There's still tons of squash available and beautiful peppers and herbs and things and carrots. So really, it's a bit late, but it's still time. So run out there.
And Jean Market is one of those places that we are really lucky to have here in Montreal. We have a few. We have Jean we have Atwater, and I know there's another one that escapes me. Bon Secours, maybe market.
There's one Lachine.
There's a Lachine market, Marché de l'Ouest, and these are
Marché 440 in Laval.
Yeah,
there's several local markets.
And you can buy really good fresh produce that comes from local farms. Some of it can be imported as well, but in the late summer and fall, most of it is from the local area, and it's wonderful to buy fresh stuff.
Yeah. All right. Shall we just start?
Sure. So we have 3 recipes to share with you today, and we're going to start with one that in fact is inspired from a local Montreal celebrity, José Di Stasio, and these are bell peppers piémontaise. Very easy to make, and the clue to this, the success factor, is the baking process in the oven. So it's about an hour and a half baking process. We'll walk you through that. Easy to make, delicious, and absolutely beautifully colorful. Hi, we're back. And as we've indicated earlier today, I will show you how to make the pepper piémontaise. And very easy. It's a very simple assembly and uses a lot of the current ingredients, so all seasonal and fall related, colorful. So there's a basic recipe, and I'll share with you, walk you through the step of the basic recipe. But then once you've done that, after that, you just let loose your imagination, and you can really use a lot of different herbs, different perfumes. You can also serve it as a light lunch with slices of mozzarella on the side. So it's a very versatile dish. You can serve it lukewarm, room temperature, or cold. So I'll walk you through it. I did already slice up some peppers and prepared a few so you could see what the product looks like before we bake it, before we put it in the oven. And then you choose colorful, very colorful peppers, and slice them in half. And if you can, in fact, when you clean them, if you can slice it through
the stem.
Thank you. My French was going to come out there. This left, it just makes it a little bit more elegant for presentation purposes. So we've already cut here. We're going to have 6 in the dish. We're using yellow, red, and orange peppers. And you want to say a little bit something before I go carry on with the peppers, about the peppers and what
we could talk about.
We love peppers aside from the taste.
Why do you love peppers? What do I know about peppers? Sorry. Peppers. What do you think has more vitamin C? Peppers, oranges, or strawberries? Maybe I should know the answer to that.
Hang on. Run again.
Red peppers.
Yeah.
Oranges. Strawberries.
Strawberries.
Vitamin C?
Yeah.
Funny because you would think oranges. No?
I would say peppers.
No, I think of I thought it was vitamin C tablets.
I thought it was I thought it was as a trick question, so I knew it couldn't be oranges.
Because you guys know me too well.
So is it strawberries or
all
peppers?
of you at home, when you think vitamin C, what do you think? You think oranges, you get those emergency tablets, it's always orange flavored.
Yeah.
They're all pretty similar.
Oh, okay.
I think. Again, what do I know?
Dad, you're just a nutritionist. What do you know?
No, but red peppers are high in vitamin C, so someone who has low iron status, anemia, a lot of times you want to pair vitamin C, or you want to pair vitamin C with your non-heme iron, so iron coming from plant sources.
Okay.
So you could just add red peppers instead of always adding oranges, which is what you tend to think.
Oh, very nice.
See, just learned something.
Always.
There we go. So the second thing that you do when you prepare these, you just make sure that you baste with olive oil, so inside and out properly. It's going to help the caramelization process as it bakes in the oven. So I'm just going to do these 2 when I'm messing myself up. And
so I could do that while you continue explaining.
There we go. There's one. And then what you do, you start layering your seasonings. And I love to use anchovies. So a lot of the recipes do use anchovies. If you don't like anchovies, you don't have to put them in. But if you do put anchovies, then hold off on the salt. So we have to be careful with that because they're heavily salted, as we know. So little pieces of anchovy. You keep building your layers of flavors. So we're going to put slices of garlic. You can crush it if you prefer. I like them thinly sliced like this.
It's easier.
Exactly. And does garlic have properties aside from scaring off ghouls and vampires?
I'm sure it does.
Okay, and what are those?
Good question. No, garlic, it's a, what do you call it, Allison family of things like it, and onions, anti-cancer properties, so it's really good.
There you go.
Some people have difficulty digesting garlic, same thing with onions, so just remove the part in the middle.
Ah, okay.
Like the harder
Oh yes, that's
part.
right, that's the bitter part. I think.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you just remove that,
Right.
it'll remove the digestive
Lovely.
issues.
And the garlic we use is from the market, as a matter of fact, from Jean Talon market. It is local Quebec winter garlic. So it's still very much in season. You can still buy that, which keeps really long and fresh, and hey, it's local produce. So we've done our first part of the layering with the anchovies and the garlic. Then it's basically the flavor through herbs. The classic is obviously basil. So you can put some fresh basil leaves inside, as many as you want. So our leaves are pretty big. I'll just put a few, like that. And you could also flavor it with, and some of these have been done with fresh rosemary. So I find it something that's underutilized and underappreciated is fresh rosemary with tomatoes and veg. It's absolutely wonderful flavor. So we could do actually, why not mix a little bit of rosemary in with the garlic, with the basil, pardon me. And then as easy as that, it already smells good indeed. The last part of the process is the tomato. So you want to try to use a tomato that's more of a fleshy type of tomato so it doesn't render too much water. So I've used the Roma tomatoes, the Italian tomatoes, which cut in half, remove the seeds and as much of the water as you can, and you simply just plop it in your peppers.
Easy peasy.
Fits nice and snug. So if you have large peppers, then you would put 2 halves. Ours are just the perfect size for.
If you have very tiny
tomato.
tomatoes, you put two halves as well.
Exactly. So just the idea being of filling the whole of the pepper, so you have something that is very lovely to present. And then you just add a little bit more seasoning and olive oil.
And you're going to ask me about tomatoes?
I was just going to do that as I'm basting olive oil. So there is something to be said about tomatoes cooked with a fat. And we love olive oil because it's healthy.
There you go. Well, most veggies, you do want to cook them with olive oil. Why? Because the vitamins in veggies are fat soluble, which means you need fat to be able to absorb your veggies. Which is why you add, your oil salad dressing to veggies. That's a good thing. You want that salad dressing. When you're cooking them, add some olive oil. Tomatoes, rich in lycopene.
There you go.
November, men,
Yes,
instead of having your mustache and you want to raise awareness, just cook tomatoes.
Exactly.
Be like, hey, tomatoes are good to prevent prostate cancer. Works just as well. And you don't look hideous with your mustache.
There you go.
PSA for me. Thank you.
I know a few people who could benefit from that. There you go. So the last part of the process, as you see, it's really easy to assemble, and it's a base.
Clean hands.
Thank you. Now that I've just stolen all the peppers everywhere, they're sliding away. And you can also use, if you don't have fresh herbs, but you do have pesto, so when you do your layering, you can put a little bit of pesto at the bottom. It really is as versatile as you want to make it. The important part now is the cooking process, or the
So tell us, I guess this goes in the oven.
So the total time is an hour and a half, so 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and you cover it for the first 45 minutes. So we're going to wrap it in aluminum, pop it in the oven, and for 45 minutes. Then after that, you uncover and you let it continue to bake for another 45 minutes. And the end product, as you'll see, will be gooey, caramelized, and just wonderful flavors that we will layer on a serving plate for you in a little while. Okay, so we've plated our peppers, and you can go about it different ways. I've just did very simply on a plate. I guess we'll sample each one.
Yeah.
And you can serve it as an appetizer on a bed. I've put a bed of roquette because it's a sturdy type of lettuce.
Yeah, arugula.
Arugula, thank you. I kept the French game out again. You could use a little bit of more olive oil if you want, and it's absolutely beautiful with crusty bread, baguette, and you dip in the juices that are caramelized in the pan. It's just lovely. So voila, bon appetit. Here we go.